Kira. What brings you here today?
I'm a uni student and I have a messy roommate.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
She never cleans up the dishes and she never cleans the bathroom and the floor is a mess. She'll go out and do her makeup and hair and she'll just leave everything everywhere. Makeup on tables, dishes out, never cleans up.
And this is like a daily occurrence?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It's disrespectful. It makes me feel like, oh, I'm the only one doing the work and she just feels like she doesn't have to try.
If she was to try to help with this, like what would you want her to be able to do?
I think we need a checklist. We need to split responsibility with different tasks and chores. There needs to be some sort of systematic organization to give us clarity on what our responsibilities both are, and it needs to be fair in terms of how we carry the workload and making sure that I do this set of chores today, she does the other set, or we just collaborate on the same things and split it.
Okay. That sounds like a really good idea. Have you had the opportunity to sit down with your roommate and express how you feel?
No. We're also friends. And I feel like if I confide in her that I'm upset about this, I feel like she doesn't want to be like my roomie next year. We might lose our friendship over me just being too fussy. I'm also a neat freak. I have a bit of OCD and I feel like she's more of a chill, laid back kind of person when it comes to, cleaning up and organizing. She's very minimalistic when it comes to it, but to me it's really important. But I fear that if I further open up and tell her that I've been upset with the situation lately, she's gonna take it, internalize it, take it personally, and just I feel like it's going to affect our friendship.
So what you're telling me is, let me know if I'm correct, is that you're concerned about your friendship with your friend and your roommate, and because you value your friendship, that you're apprehensive in terms of communicating how you really feel, which is frustrated right now.
Yeah, that's entirely correct. And I know they always said too, when it comes to friendships, honesty is key, but I feel like I have so much to risk though, because we've been friends for the past 10 years. And I don't want to lose that over some sort of organization thing where it has to do with me having high standards and her being chilled and laid back. I just want to establish some sort of realistic middle ground that works for both of us. I'm just not too sure yet how to facilitate that. I know the cleaning checklist, that would probably work best, but then I don't want to overwhelm her, is the thing.
So do you feel like your expectations are unrealistic in terms of cleanliness?
A bit.
And what about it do you feel is not?
I mean, I'm one of these people to where I hate the sight of any single dish, in the sink. And I feel like I also need to probably lower my standards a bit to make them more practical and realistic. If it's one or two dishes that are set aside, great, but at least clean them by the end of the day. She'll go days without doing her dishes. And let me tell you, it stinks in there.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. It's like Dante's Peak. It's all smelly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, since it seems like you're willing to negotiate your standards of cleanliness a little bit to satisfy the relationship and your friendship and also being a roommate as well, since you're willing to do that, is maybe having that conversation with your friend something that is feasible for you?
I think so.
And what would it take to make that conversation happen?
Well, I'm still I feel stalled. I need more clarification on what sorts of steps I should take in initiating that conversation in a way where it's not awkward and where I don't sound like I'm overly upset. I want to be able to control my emotion when I sit down and have this conversation with her. I fear that if we sit down, I'm just going to explode.
Well, how about we practice right now? Like if I was your friend
Okay.
and you wanted to confront your friend on your current situation and like things that you're willing to negotiate. Like if I was your friend, let's say, what's her name? Or you can come up with a different name.
Sarah.
Sarah. So I'm gonna pretend to be Sarah, your roommate / your best friend of 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
How would you confront Sarah right now if she was sitting in front of you, like I am, in a way where you feel like you're not coming across as like too emotional, but you're actually also able to convey the message and the frustration that you have been feeling cohabiting with her as a best friend and as a messy roommate?
So I feel like I'd sit down and I'd be like, hey, I know uni's been busy for both of us lately. I get that, exam stress, grinding for midterms, but we need to have some sort of, fair responsibility to where we are both accountable to doing chores on a day-to-day basis. We split it up. We make sure that, we clean up the dishes, we keep the bathroom and shared living spaces clean. When it comes to your own personal space, that can be your own personal space. But when it comes to like the shared living spaces, because we both are using them, we need to ensure that we're cleaning up after ourselves, that we're holding ourselves accountable to that, and that there's that, mutual respect there.
Okay. How do you think that sounded?
I think that sounded actually rational because, well, and I know this is practice, it's role playing. I sound calm and rational right now, but then when I actually have to go do it, I feel like, can I even maintain that sort of level of interaction and maintain my composure in doing that? That's for me, but I felt like that went well.
Sounds great. I honestly think you did a really good job. You were able to convey your message across without coming across as emotional.
Yeah.
But like you said, rehearsing is different than actually like doing the thing in real life. So if you need a couple more sessions with me rehearsing until you're comfortable enough to confront Sarah in a way that you feel like it's not going to come across as too emotional, then maybe that's what our next couple sessions are going to entail. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good plan. And I also feel like too, I need to also establish like the exact method by how we're going to achieve that. Like I know I mentioned checklists, but do you have like, in terms of like how that would play out, what sorts of checklists should I design or construct?
Okay, well I can't really specifically give you an exact checklist that works, because again, everything's going to be different for every person. If you were to create a checklist, so like I know you prioritize, like you mentioned, cleaning the common shared spaces.
Yeah.
How, like, what's the frequency of that? What is it gonna look like? Is it gonna be like you're both gonna clean at the same time? Is it gonna be split individually on different days? Like maybe Sarah has Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then you have Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like what would you want the checklist to look like so it's feasible for you and it's up to your standards with a bit of flexibility for Sarah as well?
Yeah. So I think it can't just be like on the weekends, it has to be like every day consistently if we're gonna keep up with daily, household tasks, just to keep everything clean and maintain it well throughout the weekdays. I think that, Monday through Sunday, obviously dishes every day, wiping down counters. Like on the weekends though, we need to like clean the bathroom thoroughly. We might be like, okay, this weekend you clean the bathroom, next weekend that's on me. On the weekends we probably should have like a more like thorough sort of cleaning system, but during the weekdays it's a bit more like surface level and lower task.
Do you think that's realistic for both of you?
I think so.
the checklist, and I think having that in the back of your mind as you prep for your confrontation with Sarah, I think that's going to allow you to feel confident. You're not just saying, hey, here's a problem, but you also have thought of a solution as well. And I think it's going to help, like she's gonna think of, like she's not gonna see it as like you're just attacking her if maybe that's how she's gonna feel. And if you're really concerned about your friendship potentially getting ruined because of your confrontation, I think this is a very healthy solution that you have come up with that would work for both parties.
Time.